I'd like to call the Southern Berkshire Regional School District School Committee meeting 1,698 to order. Stand during the reports.
I have a point of order,
Okay.
Mr. Chair. I object to the shifting of executive session from the first item on the agenda to the last item on the agenda for several reasons. First reason, our procedure has always been that someone makes a motion to change the order of the agenda. That wasn't done. It was just changed. Now, anybody who has looked at the agenda over the weekend, on Tuesday or Wednesday, believed that that would be first. So anybody who might be here to comment publicly expected us to have that, and I understand that the reason given for it is for moving it is that Josh Coleman, one of the attorneys in the firm that represents the district, is not available until 7:30. Now, it confounds me that we need an attorney to consider a complaint. There is nothing that we need an attorney for. This is not negotiation, and that even though we have a legitimate reason for entering into executive session under the stated provision of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, we don't need an attorney for that. And I'd like for somebody on the committee, preferably the chair, to tell me why we need an attorney for that.
Because I asked for him to be there.
He's not your attorney.
No, but he's the school's attorney.
But there has to be a reason to have an attorney there.
Okay. Okay, then we'll move it up.
Okay, good.
Just checking where my name is.
Okay, well, yeah,
Yep.
I'll make the
Why
motion.
don't you tell them why they have an attorney?
Second.
Because he's not our attorney, he's the school's attorney.
Who said that?
Nancy?
Okay, but I do have to state it. I move pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A1, to go into executive session to discuss the complaint brought against the chair and vice chair it should be by Tara White, dated February 26, 2026, and pursuant to Massachusetts General Law 30A 21A2 to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with the superintendent, and not to return to return to open session. And I further move that because we do need, we may need our attorney for the second part of that to conduct strategy sessions, that I have no objection to have, I prefer not to, but I have no objection to having a second executive session for that purpose when our attorney, Josh Coleman, I assume it's Josh Coleman, is available. So I have, my motion is to move into executive session now only for the purposes stated in Section 21A1 and not A2. I leave it. Can I ask a question? Wasn't this originally, the second part of this, scheduled earlier today for March 9th, for Monday?
Yes, we received
Yep.
an agenda today
Yep.
for that Monday meeting.
Well, now...
It doesn't have to be on there. We can not
Okay,
do it.
well, my motion is not to include the second part unless the committee wants to include it, but it keeps us here maybe later than we want to be here. In any event, that's my motion. Someone seconded. Oh, Nancy did. Okay.
Roll call vote?
Yeah.
Well, don't we have discussion first?
Discuss it?
Yes.
Yeah, ask the chair to, yeah.
Go ahead, Bonnie.
So weren't we specifically having Josh here to deal with executive session issues?
There are two separate issues.
No, I know. That's why I said issues, plural.
Well,
So Carl was saying, perhaps before you got here, that there doesn't seem to be a reason for Josh
heard
to be-
that.
Okay.
Never mind, Bonnie.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
Let's deal with the complaint.
okay, we haven't completed the roll call, have we?
Nope, Bonnie? Or
No,
Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
no.
Kim?
I'm staying because I wasn't really here for all the conversation.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Nancy?
Oh, that was
Oh, there's
That
Miguel.
was Miguel.
Miguel.
And Nancy? Yes. Yes?
Okay, what's that now?
Recording
What's
stopped.
the-
Recording in progress.
Okay.
Is Miguel-
Since I was the chair only for the purposes of chairing the executive session, and the executive session is finished, and we're now back in open session, I'll have one more duty to perform, and that is to move with an explanation. With an explanation before I move for school committee reorganization. I want to just state that the outcome of our executive session was that both the chair, Arthur Bataki, and the vice chair, Kimberly Alcantara, resigned from their positions as chair and vice chair, and also from their membership in the school committee. The school committee now consists of 7 people, and that was that. And I think it's important to note, for the record, that no member of the committee still sitting, encouraged them or suggested, well, that's not entirely true. One person suggested that someone leave the position that they were in, but no one suggested that they resign from the committee.
Just
Yeah.
since you served as chair during that executive session, will you be the person who informs both Kim and Art that they must put their resignation in writing?
I will, but I'm sure they know that.
Well, I don't know, because they have to, because it has to go to the 2 towns.
Well, we know that that's the rule in Sheffield. I know it's the rule in Alfred. I'm not sure what the rule in Monterey is.
All 5 towns, they were considered special employees. So the letter has to go to.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to send an email to them. Let me give a little bit of thought to whether or not, if I copy everybody on that has open meeting
don't
law
think so.
implications. I don't think it does, but
Because we just stated that they
yeah, I
have
think
resigned.
it's fine. But just let me think about it.
Okay.
I don't want now I'm probably, for what I regard as no good reason, probably now the target for an open meeting law violation complaint. So, in any event, I move that the committee reorganize this evening, March 5th, 2026.
Second.
So there's been a second. Any discussion? Jim, your vote on
Yes.
reorganizing. Bonnie?
Yes,
Amy?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Miguel?
See Miguel back in there. Nancy's up there.
Well, is Nancy on?
Yes,
Yeah,
Nancy's
on.
there.
Yeah, Nancy, is that a yes?
That's a yes.
Okay. Where's Miguel? Not back yet.
Not see Miguel.
I think he's taking a break from.
He said
Okay.
5 more minutes. I don't know what that means.
What did he say?
5 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Well, we have 6 that
we
are voting yes.
we have 6, and it has been my general rule that when my vote isn't needed, I don't vote. So we have a vote that we're going to reorganize. Until we've reorganized, was that Miguel?
No.
No, okay. Do we have any nominations for chair? Amy?
I would like to make a motion to nominate Julie Hannum as the chair of the school committee.
Is there a second? Okay. Are there any other nominations? There being none, let's take a vote. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie? You can abstain.
Yes. Well, I don't like voting for myself, but I'm
Okay.
worried about if there's enough votes. So
There are, now that there are 7 people.
now
it's
that there's
4.
You already-
7 and
yeah,
si- no,
4 is
well,
all
I
you
feel like
need.
there still should be 6.
Nancy?
I'm a yes.
Miguel's still not back. Okay, we have
No chair.
we have sufficient votes.
Madam Chair.
Julie is the new chair. Do we have any
Yes.
nominations for vice chair?
Well, no, now Julie gets to do that,
Oh, right.
but she is now chair.
You're now chair.
Carl, good that you're here, Bonnie.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Carl.
Did you vote, or you did not vote?
I didn't vote. I don't.
And I'll vote yes, just to
Yeah,
make it.
I don't vote when I don't have to, if I'm the chair. I mean,
Yeah, no, I-
we're supposed to be neutral, and I try to be neutral. I probably fail more than I succeed, but okay. But Bonnie is the new chair, and Bonnie, you.
No, Bonnie is
Julie
not
is
the
the
new
I
chair.
don't mean Bonnie, I meant Julie. Both ends in 2 letters, I.E. It's a reasonable
We're all
mistake from an
E's.
old dude.
Okay. All right, so as the new chairman, I will call for nominations for vice chair.
I move that you be the vice chair.
I didn't hear that.
Amy Baker's Jordan be the vice chair.
Okay.
Amy, okay, someone seconded.
And Miguel, okay, so Nancy made the motion and Miguel seconded.
Okay, yes, you want to?
I move that Miguel Muir be vice chair. I'm nominating Miguel Muir as vice chair.
Okay.
All right.
So you had a motion and a second,
We had a motion and a second.
and then we
Bonnie's
had
And we
a
have a motion.
Is there a
a
second?
second for Miguel as vice
Second.
chair?
Okay, good. Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
That's good. We have nice to have a
Okay.
little contest.
A little contest.
Any-
Well, also 2 Sheffields.
Yeah.
Well, and
No, I'm
it
not
would really
prejudicing.
only be for 6 months. I mean, this is till November.
Right,
This is
but
short,
I
but I
still-
understand.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, those are legitimate reasons.
Sure.
Any discussion about it? Well, Bonnie had some discussion about a Sheffield person being chair and vice chair, and if someone has a problem with that, they can state it.
So I'd like to state in watching the, I haven't seen so long, Miguel's really, is he back there?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's back up
he
there.
is.
top left.
That he's really been incredibly perceptive in terms of the issues that he's brought up, which really has impressed me in terms of his leadership and his questions. Not that Amy hasn't, but
Yeah.
She
that's,
said pick up at 7:20, but the meeting resumed, and the chair and vice chair.
Okay.
What was that?
All right, so there are 2 nominations.
Was that you
Amy
speaking?
No,
Bainbridge.
it was somebody on Zoom.
Amy
Somebody on
Bainbridge
Zoom.
Jordan and Miguel Murr.
Any further?
Mir is
Mir,
what-
sorry.
I nominated Mir.
Mir, yeah. So we have two nominations before us.
Is it appropriate to say by Mir bis Duchesne? No?
Please not.
By Mir bis Duchesne, it's a wonderful
I
song.
know, I
And
love
it
it.
means in Yiddish and or German, with me you are very dear.
Oh,
Bei mir bist du schön.
Okay, so Carl, let me just, for the record, just let me double check, Amy, if you were elected, would you accept?
Yes.
Miguel, if you are accepted vice chair, would you accept?
Well, I really appreciate Bonnie's nomination, and I've thought about it a lot. I feel like my schedule doesn't really allow me to give as much as I could in that position, and perhaps in the future. But for now, I probably would not accept.
Well, thank you,
You would
Miguel.
not be able to
That-
accept.
that-
That was
Not
something
accept.
he would not be able to
Right.
accept.
we have one.
In-
I just feel like I couldn't give it enough time
Okay.
that is required.
Yeah, I felt it was important just to double check that we don't do that.
Right, well, thank you for your
Okay, so
forthright.
thank you, Miguel. Bonnie,
Bonnie, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
yeah. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Then I'd like to suggest that we vote yes or no for Amy Bainbridge Jordan, who said she would accept and she would be able to if she were elected. Is there any other discussion? Okay, why don't we vote? Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Carl, yes.
Amy? Yeah, you're like me.
Yes.
Yes. Julie? Yes. Miguel?
Yes.
Nancy? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's nice.
Thank you very,
Good.
very much. Okay, well, that piece is done, and as a new chairman, clearly I will have probably other things that I will need to think about and consider, and maybe back to the board overall for any other documents in this new role. I got to say, this is not something I was looking for. I'm very sad that this has happened. I truly am. It's unfortunate. Here we are. We will move forward.
No, nothing.
So, standing reports. There's no school committee minutes.
We addressed the executive session at the end, so I can let.
Oh, yes, that's right.
What did Michelle
Carl,
say?
do we want to address the executive session at the end so Michelle can let our attorney know? Is it the pleasure of the board to not have that second executive session at the end?
Well, can I say, while Arthur
Yeah,
was
that
still
would-
chair, he agreed that we would keep the Monday, March 9th date for that meeting with our attorney, assuming he's available, that we would keep that meeting to do contract discussions with our attorneys.
So do you have to make a motion to not discuss?
It's up to Julie. My view is it can't hurt to make the motion,
I would agree.
just to keep the
Make
record
Make the
clean.
motion that you are going to postpone
Yeah, we're
the
good.
second half of that executive session.
Very good.
Or ask for a motion, I'm sorry.
So I will entertain a motion that we will amend the agenda and postpone the second half of the executive session about conducting strategy sessions.
So moved.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right, I'll call for a vote. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yeah.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie? Yes. Nancy? And Miguel?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So Michelle, if you could get in touch with Josh, please let him know that we will hope to see him on Monday. That'll be great.
Can you text him now? So
Michelle's taking
Michelle's on
care
it.
of that, Bonnie. Yeah, we're all set. Okay, any other housekeeping we need to
Yeah.
do here before we get into the regular business? Jim?
It says that we have to have a motion to allow in-person public comment via Zoom.
Well, when we get to public comment, I'll call for that.
Okay.
Very good, all right, so I'm going to go to the original number 2, which is kind of now number 3, and go to standing reports. Previous school committee minutes, we don't have any tonight. Is there any receipt of correspondence? No. Enrollment report, we do have that. Dr. Rico?
For her.
So you have in front of you our 3-1 enrollment report. you can see that if you look overall, from September 1st, 25, all the way to March 1st, we are short 2 students. Obviously, we don't want to be short any students, but I think only being short 2 at this point in the school year bodes well for us to finish off. And hopefully, with the great things that continue to happen in this district, we'll gain those 2 back and perhaps even be closer to 600 as we end up in June.
Close the year.
I have a question,
I have a
Madam
question
Chair.
as well.
Carl?
Yeah, quick question. When you say we are short 2 students, we have 2 fewer
Correct.
than we had in your last report.
No, I'm going back from the beginning of the year. So
Okay.
when we started in September.
Okay.
Right,
So
September.
do we have any stated reason why we don't have those 2?
I mean, as you look across, you'll see the totals where we lost and gained. So by October, we were at the number where we are now. We gained 7 in November, lost 3, lost 1. So, I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason at this point. We haven't identified any patterns. We have heard the school committee ask us this question in previous sessions, and so the principals are aware that if there is a reason that families state for leaving SBRSD, they will forward it to me, and as such, we have not had anything that has stood out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great, thank you. Any other questions on enrollment, Bonnie?
Have the parents been asked their reasons?
As
The custodian.
I believe they have, I know Kate's up there, Jesse, have we?
Yeah, I mean, mostly people moving in and out of the district.
That's all I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a couple families moving, and a lot of it are changing family placement, like, families are in different places. And so that's basically what accounts for on the whole.
Okay, great. I
Kate,
mean, not great,
Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
Very good.
Kate, did you have anything to add to that? Jesse basically stated that it's mostly families moving in and out. Have you had any specific reasons why folks have left?
There was just one kiddo who had come to us from another private school, and it wasn't working out here, so she went back.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions on enrollment? Okay. Student representative report.
So we don't have that, but we,
Yeah, I got something quick that I'll just
Yes.
share.
Okay.
We,
Is that for Spotlight or student representative?
Yeah, I'll do both.
Either one.
I'll do
Okay.
both.
Thank you, Jesse. Okay.
So, with things going on tonight, we couldn't get one of the student reps to come. So instead, I'll just share with you quickly, this past week, we had a couple programs for students which were really good. Last Friday, we had Third Gen, a survivor story, which is a multimedia performance highlighting a Holocaust survival story. And we did that for grades 6 through 12. And then Monday and Tuesday of this week, we had the museums, the mobile museums of tolerance. We had the bus here on campus. It was in Berkshire County at the across in the parking lot of the Jewish Federation earlier this fall, and basically they wanted to show it off to everybody and say, if you're interested, contact us. And so we did. Lindsey Brown, who is the middle school team leader and science teacher, really helped to coordinate these 2 programs. But the having the mobile museum here, the 7th and 8th grade did a workshop called Combat Hate, Digital Media Literacy. And then the 8th grade also did a workshop on Anne Frank, which they're reading. And then the high school, we had history classes do 2 workshops. Some did civil rights, the others did the power of ordinary people. So 2 really cool programs that we were able to give the kids an experience. Only downside, obviously, we had some weather issues. And so, our time was cut a little short, one on the half day and then on the early dismissal. So actually it was Tuesday and Wednesday. The bus arrived late Monday and was here. But it was great. The kids had a really good time. A lot of positive feedback from them on their experience. Yeah.
you just mentioned what kind of feedback and how is it, collected, Lindsay?
So a lot of the classes that were involved are doing things related in some way or have curriculum that'll come up later in the year that will be related. So, some of the kids had connected to things they had done. Certainly with the 8th grade, they're going to do some excerpts from Anne Frank as part of the HMH program that we do. And so, trip to Washington, things like that. Just I thought we heard some good things from the kids. And again, really appreciative of Lindsay helping to coordinate those two experiences.
Thanks.
Super.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jesse.
And so I'll just quickly, student spotlight. We found a couple boys basketball players. They had a really nice basketball season and set 3 milestones for the program, which they haven't. As many of you know, we've had some really good athletic teams over the years and a lot of success a few years back with girls basketball. Boys basketball, we've had some really competitive teams the last couple of years, made the state tournament, made the Western Mass tournament, but had not won any games. And this year's team cleared all those hurdles. Unfortunately, they lost last night in a tough fought game. If you heard the score, it was not indicative of the game. With 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, we were down by 1. And then we had a player foul out, and it turned out to be a 20-point loss, but the game was much, much closer. So Chris has a little video that we took of a couple of kids.
Our student spotlight is the boys basketball team here at Mount Everett, which just had an historic season that came to an end last night in the round of 16. So I'm with Darius and Brady, both juniors on our team. So Darius, to start with you, what was it like winning our first 2 Western Mass regular season tournament games now that we've gone to this new format?
It was great. It was very exciting. Obviously, nobody expected us to really come that far, but through all the hard work we put in practices, we did it.
And you guys advanced to the Western Mass finals. What was that experience like?
It was very, very exciting. We've never been there before. It was very nerve-wracking for most of us, very young.
Right. And Brady, what was it like getting the first state tournament win in over 30 years with our victory against R.S.D last Sunday?
It's awesome. All of our guys have gone in all season long with their little community, just basketball players. And it's been awesome. Like Darius said, we've never really been there before, right? So it's just awesome.
That's great. And Brady, do you know anybody who played on that team in the 1990s that won the last game?
Yeah, I believe Mr. Carpenter did.
And so I'll ask both of you. I'll start with Darius. What was your favorite moment this season?
Probably coming into the Franklin Tech tournament with all the confidence we had for winning it, and just doing great together as a team.
Great. And Brady, how about you? What was your favorite moment?
I was definitely winning the first league title since 1962, I believe, when we beat Libertas Academy at their school.
That's awesome. That's yet another one of the firsts for this program. And the last question I have for you guys. You had some seniors last night who played in their last game in a Mount Everett uniform. So I'll start with Brady this time. Brady, what are the things you remember about those guys and something you might want to say to them?
Listen, a lot of hard work out of those guys, a lot of leadership, someone to look up to, and it's unfortunate that they're leaving. Wish them the best, though.
And Darius, how about you? What would you say to those guys?
Well, we've had them for a while, been on the team with them for every single year of the basketball career, and it's just terrible to see them go out on those.
Great. One more question. What would you say, Brady, to the coaching staff?
We appreciate you guys. They put in a lot of hard work. I know Coach Warren, specifically, our head coach, he watched a lot of film for us, takes time off work to watch film on other teams for us. And it's just awesome to see those guys put in the same amount of work that we do.
And Darius, how about you?
It's just great to see them have our backs through everything. He always says it's for us not to get texts, and he'll get them for us, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
That's great. And I actually have one other question for you. I walked in the gym the other day when you guys had practice at 6 o'clock in the morning because of our early dismissal. And I saw some alums in there helping you guys out by scrimmaging against you. What was that like, having guys who had previously been through the program coming and helping us out? Brady, you first.
I mean, it's awesome. We see guys that have graduated with they didn't have much success here, right? And then they come back and see us have so much success, and all we do is help. And it's awesome. We're playing better competition, older, stronger guys. It's awesome.
And Darius, what was it like for you?
It was great to see the competition really step up. It's really what we needed to get in the groove to play these other teams.
That's great. We're certainly proud of you guys and the entire team for all the accomplishments this year. And we look forward to next year with the guys who are returning to see if we can keep the momentum going. Thank you.
Congratulations to the boys basketball team on those benchmarks. Spectacular.
Question.
Bonnie?
How many are coming back?
So we graduate. We graduated 4 kids from this year. Well, we'll graduate 4 kids, and so on the varsity right now, it's really 5 or 6 guys returning, but a lot of kids swing back and forth from JV and varsity. So you know, I think they'll be able to be successful next year because it's a lot of the guys who got a lot of playing time this year. And just the ending part about the alums, we had some sickness and things like that over the last week. And Coach Warren, who graduated here from Mount Everett, was able to get some of his former players to come back and help out, which really, really helped because a couple of days they had like 7 kids at practice. So, and to walk in at, you know, 6:30 in the morning and see, you know, 3 guys who graduated in the last 10 years in there helping out that early in the morning was pretty cool to see. It shows you a lot about this community of kids and how much they care about the kids who are still playing now.
And I want
Great,
to
thank
know,
you.
how did you, in all the years, I've never seen ball handlers like these guys.
The amazing part about this team is that they all really get along. They all really bought into whatever their role was. And I think the really impressive thing for them was just how unselfish they were. Which, not to say that we've had selfish teams, but just that as the season went along, like no one really cared who scored the points. No one really cared. They really bought into defense. And I think you can tell by the way those guys talked about their teammates, really a lot of love for each other. And so it's really nice to see. For those of you that don't know, you know, we have on a lot of our youth teams, usually it goes like 3, 4, and 5, 6. A lot of times because of numbers, we have kids who start playing the 5, 6 team when they're in 4th grade. And so they have these larger groups before they get to high school where you sometimes see 9 through 12. And so they play together and they really get to care about each other. Brady and Darius have been playing together since like 2nd grade.
Great.
And so just really cool to see all those guys and how excited they were. And hear them talk today about how they were sad what happened, but ready to get back to work for next year.
That's
That's
really,
great.
thank you so much, Jesse.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Jesse, you're not done, Jess.
Oh, Nancy?
Yeah, in fact, this may seem like a bizarre question. I'm sure that's a surprise, but I wonder the confidence that Darius and who was it again? Brady, thank you. That they showed in just being able to speak about the experiences and be present and accounted for, and also to be so inclusive of, and you know, on their own, in their own speaking about the experience. How much do you think that, if any, is related to the changes in how you guys are running the education program?
I mean, I definitely think that there's part of it. You know, a lot of people have incorporated a lot more student voice and things like that. I think for Darius and Brady, because we had such a successful season, the media came out a lot. And so they had gotten interviewed a bunch of times. And if you had read any of the articles, they really talked a lot about their teammates. You know, I think Mount Everett is a place where the kids are really connected, really care about each other, and I think you see it when they do these interviews. And you know, it was fun for me to do it with those guys because you could tell how excited they were about the season, even though the season ended last night, so there was some sadness in the idea of like we just lost, but just really cool to see how excited they were just about the experience. And I could say that for a lot of the athletic teams, even when we don't have a ton of success in the postseason, but just they really buy into the kind of that family atmosphere of sports. So I feel
team going to be the same way.
yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys play baseball. I think it'll be very similar. We'll see how it goes, but you know, we're always hopeful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
Brian?
I just wanted to add, I think one of the things that makes me really proud as superintendent is the way that these athletes are off the court as well. I went to a soccer loss at, where was I? Somewhere in the fall. And our guys lost a heartbreaking game. 2 overtimes. They made me so proud by the way that they handled that loss, and that was what I texted Jesse last night as well. We are just as proud of them for what they do off the court as to what they do on, and I think that's a really important part of everything that we're talking about here, and I think they see that from their leadership. So.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go into public comment, and we need a motion to temporarily suspend the policy to allow our Zoomers.
I move to temporarily suspend the policy requiring in-person attendance to make a comment for this meeting only due to potentially dangerous weather conditions that may have prevented some people who wanted to appear from actually appearing.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made by Carl, and I heard Nancy second, to temporarily suspend the policy requiring the in-person public comment for tonight's meeting due to hazardous weather. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Aye.
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy? Yes. Julie? Yes. Miguel?
Yes.
And Nancy? You want to say yes? You muted yourself.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So public comment then is answered to those here in person, and I will try to look for hands on the Zoom screen if we have other public comment. Who do I see? Tara B. White, that's who I see on Zoom.
Good evening, everybody. In light of the fact that I was the named person in the executive session and that many people on this do not know why that was probably brought forward, I'd like to read the email that I did send to everyone on this, if that's okay with the chair?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. This email was written to the chair and vice chair, the former chair and vice chair, as well as all members of the school committee after I attended a finance committee on February 15th. All these statements reflect only my own opinion. I am a member of the New Marlboro Select Board, but this has nothing to do with them and does not reflect any of their thoughts or either one of them. They can speak on their own. Art and Kim, I cannot believe the behavior I saw last night to both of you as the chair and vice chair of the school committee. Instead of a willingness to work with Dr. Ricca, you came in with an obvious objective and goal, and that was to sabotage, embarrass, and undermine him as much as you could. The hostility was obvious. The need to prove we are right was glaring. Kim, you have said over and over that you have years of budgeting experience. If so, then you should be stepping up to the plate and helping instead of trying to hinder the process. If yours and Art's goal is not to have a budget in time and then do the blame game, then you are not good leaders. The childish performance last night was disrespectful to the superintendent, the community members, and the staff. And in addition, I'd like to add, it is apparent from discussions with others and from attending school committee meetings that the chair and vice chair of the school committee, the past chair and vice chair of the school committee cannot clearly work or lead the committee with the biases they are showing. Unilateral decisions are being made by them without approval or even knowledge, in some instances, of the subcommittees and the full school board. Our district is better than the behavior that has been shown by both of them.
Thank you for sharing, Tara.
You're welcome.
Is there other public comment?
I have a public comment.
Andrew?
I had a very different comment to make tonight. Kind of.
Please introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Please do, yes, thank
Andrew
you.
Rapport, Middle School Social Studies, and I am the association representative. And like I said, I too had a comment about the chair and vice chair that we've been working with for a very long time. I wanted to thank all of you for the work that you put in. And I was going to say this tonight, even with Art and Kim here. You put in a lot of extra time. It's a thankless job at times. You get a lot of community members who are frequently upset with all of the decisions or any of the decisions, and then let alone the faculty and staff. So again, on behalf of the faculty and staff, we appreciate everybody around this table and what you do for the district. Having said that, we've got some, as you know, better than I do. There's a lot of insurmountable tasks ahead of us, and we are looking forward to working with you and collaborating and doing whatever we need to do to make this district continue to be the terrific place that it is. So, have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Is there any other public comment? Who do I see? Marie Kamens on Zoom.
Oh, sorry, Julie, I had to unmute. I too had a very, very different speech that I was going to talk about. But one of the things that when you all voted 7-2, one of the things that struck me, Mr. Stewart made a comment that really had an impact on me. And he voted in the spirit of unity. And for that, he gets kudos. I am so proud of what you all have done this evening. I know it wasn't an easy thing to do, but it had to be done. I congratulate Julie, I congratulate Amy, and I know this entire board will work with Dr. Ricco to ensure his success in this district. I commend you and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for your remarks, Marie. Is there any other public comment? Okay. Seeing no other comment, just checking. Yeah, I don't see anything, right, Chris? Okay. Then we will continue business manager's report, approval of warrant.
Move to approve the warrants.
Are they in there?
This is the one from last week.
Okay, I'm just making sure, because I knew Open Architects wasn't on, they have that retreat.
Right. Yeah, no, they weren't here, and you weren't here, they weren't
Got it.
there. We they got postponed. Carl, are you making a motion?
Yeah, I made a motion to approve the warrants.
Second.
And a motion made by Carl, seconded by Jim to approve the warrants. Any comments? You know, I'm pleased to see the cover page with a bottom line total over $500,000 and backup that shows what each and every one is, and they're totaled out. And gee, those two numbers match. That's fabulous. We know where they are. I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments on that. These were already approved, right? I'm assuming by our warrant representative, which it just occurs to me we need to
Right, that was my
address.
question.
Next, we'll do that next time. I just realized that. Are there any questions from the school committee on the warrant?
I have a question.
Amy?
I was just wondering about clarification what the bank account East Hampton vendor means.
That is one of our banks. We have a couple, that is one of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, good to know. Any other questions? Okay, then roll call vote. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie, yes. Nancy?
Yes.
Miguel?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. Warrant is passed. Any votes to accept grants or gifts? No, we will pass on that. Any budget transfers tonight? No. Okay. Chairman's report. I am not prepared with the chairman's report. Jesse talked about the phenomenal basketball team. You know, I never quite knew how this was all going to work out. Never in my wildest dreams did I anticipate a mid-year reorganization. But I am committed to trying to bring us together, work collegially, and and work together. And if we won't agree, I'm sure we won't agree, but at the end of the night, hopefully we laugh and we're still friends in the parking lot. And that would be my goal, that even if we disagree, we can be civil and respectful, and that's my goal.
Hear, hear.
That's my comment for tonight. Superintendent's report.
So I have one new item. There was a new scoreboard installed in our elementary gymnasium just today. Pictures to come, and that we will be sharing. And the rest of my report is that we've been working very diligently on the budget since our finance committee meeting last week. I'll spare Ms. Tatro, soon to be Dr. Tatro, and Ms. Hubbard from having to say that their past 7 to 8 days have all been spent with me in my office on the budget. So they probably, I won't speak for them, but I'll give them the out that that's what we have all been doing collectively, collaboratively, talking to the union, sharing our information with our 5 towns, bringing in as much help as we can this week since Open Architects is not available to us. And I reiterate that we will have a budget book ready for Monday. We're hoping to schedule a finance committee meeting on Wednesday so that the public hearing can happen appropriately next Thursday. And forecasting out further, and the budget can be adopted by the school committee on St. Patrick's Day, which is Tuesday, March 17th.
Okay, all right, very good.
I have a question.
Carl?
It's not directly related to what Dr. Ricca just said, but it just occurred to me as he was speaking that Finance Committee, which is an important, Finance Subcommittee, which is an important subcommittee, has just lost one member?
Two.
No,
Two?
yes, we've
Two
lost
members.
two.
So what do we have? How many left? One?
Two.
We have two.
Well, 2 is not good.
No, we need at least one.
We need at least 3.
one more.
At least 3.
Perhaps we can.
So,
What I can do is I will circulate that list of subcommittees, and you guys can decide where you'd like
To fill it?
Well, I know, but we need to be able to appoint, like, I wasn't even thinking about this tonight.
I agree with that.
I was.
But we need somebody, if we're gonna have a meeting,
You can appoint someone at the meeting, right? At your meeting on Wednesday, unless.
I thought it would have to be appointed at this meeting, at not a subcommittee meeting, but a, Carl?
No,
you
I
have a
Well,
thought.
Julie?
if there are only two remaining members, that means a quorum is 2. That means that really
But I
is a
think-
problem. I think it's my recommendation to you, Madam Chair, that we try to have no fewer than 3 members as we go into that meeting next week.
Right.
do you want to be on it? Carl?
Perhaps.
Right, perhaps, Brian?
Perhaps
Thoughts?
someone could make a motion
I was going to say,
to amend the agenda tonight to appoint at least 1, if not 2 additional members, simply to sit for that meeting and carry us through the rest of the budget season.
Yeah.
We have the same problem with executive evaluation. That was our chair.
I plan on going to both meetings next week, at least, and I could possibly join both committees. It just depends on the scheduling, just my co-parenting schedule would have to be taken into account because I'm basically available every other week for subcommittee meetings.
Okay.
Great.
I wonder, so Miguel, you're interested in finance. Nancy is on, I am on. If we appoint, I mean, it'd be nice if we could appoint so that it would go through November. But on the other hand, we're sort of in an emergency state, so we could do a temporary appointment.
I'm going to do the temporary appointment, and if the scheduling works out, then become permanent for the remainder of the school year.
Okay.
I'll be a backup.
You'll be, okay, so maybe we can appoint both of you, and then perhaps we would
Yeah,
have
Bonnie.
4.
Yeah.
So, okay, so,
great.
Could you start by asking for a motion
Yeah.
to amend the agenda?
yes, that's what I was just
Yep.
thinking. Okay, so where
I
are
make
we?
a motion to amend the agenda in order to fill vacancies in subcommittees.
Second.
Okay,
Second.
motion's
Are we
been,
going to do all
Caused
subcommittees?
by the resignation of 2 members of the school committee.
Question.
you.
Are we
Okay.
going to do all the subcommittees or
No,
just
no, no,
finance?
no, no. I
No,
think
just
right now we're
finance.
talking about the
Right now.
finance
Yes.
subcommittee.
Executive evaluation. I
And
don't know who's
the
left.
superintendent.
It's you and
Writing
me.
notes.
Do we need to do
We're-
both right now?
we're
or
in-
just
No,
now?
I think
Who
we need
else
to
is
do
on it?
finance and we can do executive evaluation. And I can review the whole list and for our meeting next week, and that can go on the agenda, that
Good
we'll
idea.
throw
We'll do it
others.
next week, yeah.
But
Okay.
for finance, because of the
Okay.
critical timing nature.
Okay, so we
budget.
have, I made the motion.
And I think Carl
I
seconded
seconded
it.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, so first the motion,
We have to vote
to
on
amend.
it.
We've got the motion to amend and add Finance Committee Subcommittee appointment to the agenda.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Okay,
Okay.
second.
Okay,
We
yeah,
had the
Carl
second.
seconded it. Is
We're
there any
now
other
voting.
discussion?
Any discussion?
Okay,
I think we
Jim?
did. Yes.
Fine.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Amy, Julie, yes. Nancy?
Yes.
And Miguel?
Yes.
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 okay.
Now I can accept nominate, or we can discuss. Okay, appointments to finance. Miguel has expressed interest in joining that subcommittee. Is there anybody else interested in that?
It's a great committee. We have such a good time.
Sarah, you have a
Yeah,
question?
so I might, like, math is not my jam. There's 7 people currently right now, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
So if you have 4, is that a quorum of the entire body?
Yes, why we need 3.
That's
Okay.
why we need 3.
Okay, I
You
don't,
need
Oh,
4.
so that if we should not then put Miguel and you, because then we would have a quorum of the full committee.
Yes, but
We
if
can call you
I
as a
come to
backup.
visit, I'm just the backup. You're not appointing me to the
Backup.
committee.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
So Miguel
Then
would say, I can't make it.
Okay.
You would be like an alternate member.
You got it.
How about that? That's a good word. We'll call you the we have
Instead of
Miguel
backup.
adding and you are an alternate. And then if we meet,
The
we would
vice
not have four.
Miguel.
Okay, so,
Vice subcommittee, yeah.
so Miguel, I want to appoint you to the Finance Subcommittee. How do you feel about that?
I second that motion.
Oh, good. All right.
Are you in favor?
All right. Okay, any other discussion?
Isn't that an old rock and roll song?
I don't feel, I know,
need
because
to
I
vote.
appoint, right?
You
The chair
appoint.
appoints
Right.
it, so we don't have to vote on that. Thank you, Miguel. We'll be in touch and work on schedule.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh, good God. All right,
And thank you, Sarah, for not being a math nerd.
yeah, and thank you, Sarah, for suggesting we not do 4. And thank you,
Math
Bonnie,
isn't
for
your
serving as
jam.
an alternate. I
And-
appreciate that.
I would appreciate it if, in your new role, you would coordinate with Michelle, and we could get all of the meetings that are now meetings for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, I will do that. Okay, all right. Hold on. Okay, next on the agenda is Director of Curriculum and Instruction, MPD. Sarah?
so we've been working on the budget, as Dr. Ricka said. That's been the main focus for everybody in the admin. I emailed you a couple of days and times, Bonnie, for a curriculum subcommittee meeting, as well as to continue work on the personnel minutes.
Excellent.
So if those days don't work, just let me know. And then this morning, on my way in, I received an email. The Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents has a summer conference. And I applied to be a speaker at the conference. I'm working on my doctorate. I'll be Dr. Tatro in May, and my research is focused on alternative pathways for principal licensure. And so I will be speaking. My presentation is titled "Building the Bench in Changing Times, Supporting Aspiring Principals Through Alternative Pathways." So just wanted to share that I will be a speaker at that conference.
Great, congratulations.
Excellent.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay. And that's the end of your report?
That is all I have.
That's what you have tonight. Sandy, Director of Student Services report.
My report is that we're working on the budget under the direction of our superintendent, and I wrote a really rousing report that I found in my draft box, so you didn't receive it. So I will make sure that I speak about it next week, because there's some information in there I think you'll like.
Okay, well, we will look forward to that. Great, thank you. Next page, new business. We're going to discuss the subcontracting of Massini Bus Company to Greg Massini Bus for year 2 of our transportation contract. And I recognize Marie Massini, who is here. Marie, I don't know if there's anything you want to state before we take a motion or a vote. You could provide us for a background on what this is about.
Hi, everybody. I'm Marie Massini. What this is about is that when Massini Bus Company bid the contract last year, obviously we have 2 family businesses, my brother Greg, me and my brother Mark in one. And as we get a little older, we're talking about combining companies and becoming one business. And it has turned out to be a little bit more complicated than I had anticipated and a bit more of a struggle. And we are hoping that you will consider subcontracting to Greg for 1 more year to give us a little more time to figure out all the logistics.
Is he willing?
Absolutely.
Good question, Bonnie. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, the 3 of us were all on the same page. The goal is to get us all together and provide the services that you've always had.
And is there anything else in the contract we have to look at beyond that?
No, not that I'm aware
Okay,
of.
so it's basically the same contract, the same number?
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
we're continuing what we did for year 1, for year 2.
2. And by year 3, everything should be up. We will be all combined as one unit.
Okay, all right. Dr.
There is a clause that the contract can't go up more than 2.5%, so we put a placeholder in there for 2.5. So I didn't want you to think it's the same year to
No, I
year.
know that.
I heard you say it. I just wanted to make sure.
Very, very good. Nancy, did you have a question of Marie?
Bonnie got it.
Bonnie got it. Okay, very good. Well, then I'll entertain a
I'll
motion.
make a motion that we approve the continuation of the contract with Massini Bus Company, and we, with the 2.5% increase for services, but that the organization of the company is still undergoing change.
So we're approving the subcontracting
Right,
for
the
year 2.
subcontract.
To clarify.
I'll make it simpler.
Okay.
We're approving the subcontract for year 2.
Thank you.
With the provision of a 2.5% increase in payment.
Very good. And
Second, or Nancy?
One of you two.
one of you guys. Nancy? I don't know.
Second.
I heard Amy, but that doesn't mean Nancy.
Okay.
But she's in my ear, you know?
I'm in a ranch.
Yeah, okay. So I'll call it as Amy for the minutes then. So the motion's been made to approve the subcontracting of Massini Bus Company to Greg Massini Bus Company for year 2 of the contract, which also includes 2.5%. Any other questions or discussion? Roll call vote. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes?
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie? Yes. Miguel?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, Marie.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for
Very
Thank you very
good.
much.
staying through everything.
Thank you. All right. So next under new business is to review and approve the Fast Bridge subscription invoice from July of 2025 in the amount of $1,906.18.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Nancy this time. Any discussion? Question, summary of?
Yes, could we have that?
Yeah, a quick
information?
summary of what that was.
As I understand it, and I wish our partners were here from Open Architects, this was outside of the fiscal year and had to be approved because we're doing it inside this fiscal year. I believe that is what I saw an email about. Chris, can you?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, real quick, I think the bill goes back to June of 25.
Correct.
So it was just-
Correct.
It was just something that
either we got lost or they got lost, and we just never received it until more recently, and they just said, hey, this is a bill that's still outstanding, can you help us with this? And so
Oh.
it goes back to FY '25, so
Okay.
we gotta put it.
We need your
We
approval.
needed to put it on
We
the
need your
warrant.
approval to
Okay.
make sure that it goes in this fiscal.
So is this a technology thing? Is this a?
It is a software program.
A software
It's a testing
program.
program that we use throughout the school for
Okay.
ELA and math and stuff.
Great.
Testing, you said.
Testing, yeah.
Yeah, testing for ELA and math. Okay, good to know. ELA, and it was FY '25. Great. Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded that we approve this invoice as stated. Is there any other questions or discussion? Roll call vote. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie? Yes. Nancy?
Yes?
Miguel?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, review and approve the recommendation for Southern Berkshire Regional School District to continue the relationship with Secure Energy Solutions, LLC. And I know we have a memo from Dr. Ricca, which I'm sure he and Ed Bramer were were discussing.
Correct.
Dr. Ricca, do you have anything you want to just
So-
summarize on
Right,
that?
so
I know
this
we got
is, this is a relationship that I inherited that controls our energy costs. It's predictable. Obviously, there's a little bit of risk. If we lock in and things go lower, okay, we're at our price. But as you know, the volatility of the energy market, the chances of us locking in and seeing spikes going higher is probably better on our behalf. Even before we were faced with this current budget situation, it was my recommendation that we go forward based on the predictability. And to that end, Eric Ness from Secure Energy is here. He can speak to this a little bit more, as well as answer any specific questions you have about the program or the bids that were out there that I also included in the packet. Eric, do you want to take it away from here?
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Reek. I appreciate it. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. I'm here with my colleague Joe Fusco as well, who'll be your direct rep over the period of time that if we facilitate a contract, will be the person with whom you usually contact. I'm the general counsel for the company. I'm an energy and utility lawyer. I worked for a big firm down in Hartford, Connecticut that represented about 2/3 of the boards of ed in the state of Connecticut. So I routinely worked with schools in my role as an attorney. I came over to Secure Energy in 2011, and I now work with some of the larger customers that we have that are more sophisticated, and many of our school board clients who have a unique process such as this, where decisions regarding a commodity product, which is a supply contract, an electricity contract, has to go through a process that involves a board approval on something that's a moving target. So I'm here to kind of explain that process, explain what we did, where we are in the market, and how this is going to work with respect to the stuff that was in the memo that Dr. Ricca put together, and which included the documents that included our bid from January 14th and updates on terms of what the projected savings might be for this contract. So I'll start by just saying we met, and I think that those prices were January 14th, where we sat down and discussed where the market was. You obviously had a process to get to this board meeting. We did subsequently do some bids in the interim. The current bids we did today, we got them literally at the end of the day. And we are now looking at a slightly higher rate of about a half a penny from what was originally the lowest bid when we last sat down. In the interim, we had that massive cold snap, storms, and then of course now we have a war in the Middle East, which is impacting markets. But the market rate that we have today still is under 15 cents. It's 14.9. It would still represent somewhat of a savings based on our projections. Looking back at where the market's been on a backwards look, we don't know where the market's going to be in the future, but we feel that the merit of moving forward with a long-term project or contract, I think, still makes sense, even with a slight increase in the cost. I didn't forward that information just because we'll still have to refresh these prices. If the board decides to move forward with a contract tonight, we'll have to refresh our bids, and then we'll reconnect with Dr. Ricca, and presumably we'll be in, hopefully around the same place, and then we'll be able to, execute a contract if there's approval. So we don't have an exact number right now. We do have, for the same term right now, for the Constellation contract that we did review with attorney Josh Coleman, He and I had a conversation about that contract. I used to do very much what he's doing for you now when I was at Shipman and Goodwin, so we had, I think, a good conversation. We were able to get a concession on the contract from 20-day terms to 30-day terms, which is a good improvement on the supply contract, but in essence, the structure of this supply agreement, you're actually, the supply costs are included on the National Grid bill, so you're really subject to their billing. If you ever went off of National Grid, then the 30-day term payments for the supplier Constellation would then apply. But it doesn't really change meaningfully how payments are going to be made. You're still going to get a single bill like you always have. You're with Constellation Energy right now for your supply. And if we move forward with that supplier, if they remain the lowest bidder, the best option for you tomorrow, pending approval, we'll be able to execute on that contract for that term. Just stepping back a little bit, as Dr. Rika put in the memo, we've been working with the school district since 2012. We have facilitated 5 prior contracts. We've been tracking your energy usage and providing information regarding usage for your facilities. Had some numbers just quickly before the meeting. In 2021, you guys were using about almost 1,090,000 kilowatt hours. I believe you have implemented some solar, so your current last year, 2025, used about 646,000 kilowatt hours. So you are seeing a significant reduction as a result of that, that project. So that's good news for you guys. We do have an increase in the cost of supply. Your last supply contract rate that we facilitated was about 9 cents. The current rates have been in the 17-cent range for National Grid's rates. So you've done significantly well under the contracts that we have facilitated over time. But there is going to be an increase in the budget as it relates to that piece of, the supply costs, as I'm sure all of you with, your home electric bills are seeing the same exact thing. So our role is to provide opportunities to stabilize these rates. If we do move forward with a longer term contract, you'll be locked in at that rate for a period of time. As Dr. Rika suggested, you are going to have fluctuations in the market. You may end up in one of the, in 1 year or 6 months of a span of time having, local utility rates below the contracted rate, but the likelihood of higher spikes is much greater than seeing a significant reduction in the cost of electricity. The market's seen individual rates, over 20, 22, 27 cents, in the term since 2021 to current. I think the highest 3-month rate was 22.29 cents per kilowatt hour. We've seen, like I said, we're at 17.13 right now for the most recent numbers in terms of cost. So I think this represents a good value, and we are always going to be there. For example, as a board, if you do have issues with energy or people are questioning 3 years down the road, 2 years down the road, why you're paying, potentially more if that becomes an issue, we're the team that you're going to turn to come to that meeting and say, this is what we did, this is what the market was telling us, was a sound financial decision at the time we made it, and we're here to back up and explain that decision when it was made. And if the market is different, explain why the market is different and what options you might have to capture that particular market that you'd be experiencing where an issue might arise. So that's the goal of our team, to be your partner in terms of stabilizing this large piece of your energy, your budget expense, and to be advisors and there to help you when times are good or when times are bad in the markets. It's a commodity, it's going to move up and down, but we can help you facilitate strategies to eliminate that potential risk. And that's all I have, but I'm happy to answer any questions about what we did or what we do or anything else.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. Does Bonnie, have a question?
Yeah, the same way National Grid does home assessments to help us be more efficient, do you do that for us? Or do you get National Grid to come in and look at and assess ways we can conserve energy?
So that's a great question. That is something that our company, we were actually in one of the programs with Eversource in Connecticut, and we have facilitated projects in National Grid for energy efficiency type of work. The utilities are difficult to work with, but we do it. We were in a different program in Connecticut, which was almost impossible to navigate their program in terms of the way they wanted to structure it, the amount of time they would take to get projects approved. But it is absolutely something that we can sit down and assess. You know, if you need a lighting project, or if there's, you know, other energy efficient initiatives that would make sense for your facilities, we can certainly have those conversations and marry you up with the program through National Grid and a potential developer or contractor to facilitate those projects. We did do the actual contract work with subcontractors, electricians and whatnot, but we found that the programs were unwieldy for our business model to manage, you know, contractors and then work through the programs. But we know the programs, we know how to, you know, make them work, and we can partner you up with somebody that will actually be able to get that project through the program directly. It wouldn't be our team, but we would help. We could help you navigate those incentive programs. It is your money. You pay for those programs as a line item on your bill. On the transmission distribution side of your bill, you'll see many times all these small little charges here and there, energy efficiency and whatnot. So those programs are really designed to return that money to you to incentivize efficiency of your facilities. So we can have that conversation with Dr. Rika or your facilities team and help whether or not you've already done some of the low-hanging fruit, which is pretty common. A lot of times the lighting projects, for example, have already been done, but there are some other efficiency things that can be done,
Great.
like you can manage your HVAC or what other, you know, whatever infrastructure you have that could see some efficiency benefits.
Good.
Great,
So
thank
Dr.
you.
Rico already shook his head that he and
Absolutely.
facilities will, good.
They
Well,
can-
absolutely.
they can check into
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I can
Thank
work with
you.
that on that. Sure.
Any other questions, Amy?
So this is on our agenda as approving the continued relationship. I was just wondering, what does that look like? Is this a contract or?
Correct. Good
Okay.
question. So this gives Eric and the team at Secure Energy the go-ahead to refresh the bids and provide us a contract document that I would bring to you the next time for approval.
Okay. And
Okay.
we've been with them since 2012.
Correct.
There's no reason why
We wouldn't
we
continue,
wouldn't
right?
continue.
Yeah.
Correct. From my perspective, that's right.
Okay.
And again, I had Josh look at this as well. Josh had a conversation with Eric. I think we're all on the same page.
Good.
Okay.
Can I just clarify one point from a process standpoint? I think, and this is up to you, but the way that I've done this with school boards making decisions like this in the past, I think the easiest thing to facilitate, we're in a commodities agreement, right? Our product right now, right? So the price is going to change, you know, every day. So what we've got right now is a price that we believe is going to be under 15 cents for you tomorrow. So my recommendation would be, if you like what you hear and the way we've facilitated bids and the conversation we've had, is that the board would vote on giving Dr. Rika the authority to sign a supply contract at a rate that's whatever you're comfortable with, knowing that the commodity could change to 15.01 or, you know, whatever. But in general, if the concept of working with Secure to facilitate a contract that's already been reviewed by your council, the board would typically vote to give him authority to sign a contract up to 60 months under 15 cents, say, and if that can be achieved tomorrow, then he wouldn't have to go back to the board to get approval on a commodity agreement that if he couldn't get board approval in a special session or however you would approve it, by the time you get a new approval, we would have to do another bid. You see my concern?
Yep.
Not trying to force you into a contract tomorrow. We'll do it whenever you want, but right now we want to knock this rate down to a contract rate for the next month. It's going to be better than what you're paying now until you make a decision.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I make a motion that we give Dr. Rika the authority to sign this agreement within the guidelines discussed this evening.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded that this board will offer Dr. Rico authority to sign this contract with parameters discussed. I want to define
I would like
what
to hear-
those
I would like to hear those as
are.
well.
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
define
I'd like to hear
those,
those as
so
well.
if we say within 15 cents, I mean, what is a reasonable projection of?
I was going to say under 17 cents.
Is under 17 cents reasonable, Eric, or?
We will most certainly be able to beat 17 cents. Otherwise, we'd be under no pressure to be. You wouldn't be
under
you'd be
16
just
cents.
barely beating. I think if you gave us like 15.2 cents or something like that. I mean, I don't think the market is going to spike between this literally this afternoon at about 4:50. We got the last bid in from Constellation. Until tomorrow, which will refresh in the morning, and we should have an answer before noon. My hope is that we can get you in at that 14.94, which was the last bid for 57 months with Constellation, and assuming that's achievable, under 15 or 15.1 or 15.2, I think gives us a little bit of latitude. What I would hate to do is it comes up to 15.25 or 3 or whatever, and now we have to go through this process again. But I think, whatever, 15.2 is probably achievable.
I modify my motion that it is to approve Dr. Ricca signing the contract with a ceiling of 15.2.
For no longer than 60 months.
Or no longer than 60 months.
Okay, no longer than 60 months.
And that's a kilowatt hour?
Correct, 15.2 cents per kilowatt hour.
Per kilowatt hour.
Okay, and is there a second?
I second.
Okay, Carl seconded. Okay, so we got a motion on the floor. Bonnie moved to authorize Dr. Ricca to sign this contract at a cap of 15.
With the name of the company.
Secure Energy.
With Secure Energy. Yeah, right.
Energy.
Yes.
The supply contract will be with Constellation New Energy, which is the supplier that whose contract we presented to Josh for evaluation.
Okay, so the motion's made and seconded that we authorize Dr. Ricca to sign the contract with Constellation Energy, a cap of 15.2 kilowatt hours, no longer than 60 months.
Got it.
Got it? Okay. Any other questions?
You need a second?
Already got it.
We got a second. Carl seconded. Okay.
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie? Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie, yes. Miguel?
Yes.
And Nancy?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.
And Joe, for being here. Appreciate
Joe.
it very much.
Absolutely, our pleasure. We appreciate the time that you gave us. So have a great night. We're going to duck out, and you guys enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Okay.
I doubt it,
Thank
but
you very much.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so next on our agenda is to vote on the FFA field trip.
Move to approve the overnight trip for Miss Michaud, who I don't know, and Miss Sickett, who I do know, for the end of this month.
Second.
Okay, Carl moved, Bonnie seconded to approve the field trip to the state FFA conference with Miss Michaud and Miss Sickett. Any questions? I know there's no one here in the audience. I don't know if either of the teachers are there or if there's something to... Oh, thank you. Nancy, question or comment?
Yeah, just want to make a comment that Ms. Michaud and Ms. Sickett did an incredible job putting together the itinerary, the plan, what the students were going to be doing, what time they were going to be doing it, et cetera, et cetera. It was really, it was so clearly put together. I really appreciate that, and I'm really excited for the kids. I think it sounds like
I want to second that. It was a very impressive application, and it was wonderful to see how many of our students are involved in making presentations.
Yeah. Absolutely is.
And I think they accomplished the goal of getting them so exhausted that they will be asleep.
They what?
That they will be asleep at the time noted.
Chaperone's worst nightmare. Chaperone's worst nightmare on those trips.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Okay, yes. Indeed. Any other comments or questions? Okay, then we'll do a roll call vote. Jim?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Bonnie? And Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Miguel?
Yes.
And Julie, yes. Okay, thank you so much. Congratulations to them on that great application and field trip. Unfinished business, details of participation in the Rural and Declining Enrollment School Week, March 9th through March 13th.
So, as you know, Nancy and I are both involved on that subcommittee, and I sent the notices, I'm sure you all perused it carefully. Some school districts are much more involved, and really their communities know a lot more about the issue. The bottom line issue is pushing to get $60 million for rural aid, and we're far behind in that area. I don't...
And that was the recommended funding for rural aid.
Exactly.
There was a research done into what's needed, and that we get somewhere between 12 million and 16 million. 20 million is on the list.
You have to speak up, Nancy, but the...
20 million is on the list for this
Right.
year, but that, I mean, it's definitely better than 12, which is where it started, but it still needs advocacy.
And originally, our governor had said she was behind the 60 million. When the numbers came out, it's not there. So some of the school districts are doing like having the kids do walkouts, having the kids do, well, a lot of, we're not in that position because there's a very low, I mean, unless Jesse, you could say otherwise, there's a very low awareness on the part of staff and students about the issue of rural aid. So I think we should aim to do something that educates. So if it's, getting comment, at this point, based upon the money we're getting this year, Brian, do your administrators have an awareness of what increased rural aid could do for us? Like if we had...
Boy, if we got more rural aid, it could help in a whole heck of a lot of places. I can also tell you that the Berkshire County Superintendents are meeting with our legislative delegation tomorrow. It was supposed to be in person, but it's been changed to online because of the predicted weather, and I think we needed to be at the BIC at 8:30. So they've switched it to an online, but we're all going to be advocating for them to continue to advocate for us. Having obviously just jumped in, I listened to Nancy and I listened to the presentations at the MASS conference. More rural aid would only help Southern Berkshire.
All right, so if we could put some of the specific, when
Sure.
you put in if we could put some of the specifics, I listened to anybody's opinion of what we could do, but I know based upon previously the things that increase rural aid could be, and if we could get comment, maybe we could do something like just an article that can go into the school papers that we could send out to the communities because it makes such a difference. Now, I don't know if I read, because I went on Desi's website and everything, and I got the rural aid charts, and we qualified both in terms of having so few people by mile, and we qualified based on being over $10,000 below the median income.
Correct.
So I don't know if the numbers I read are correct.
I mean, that's the latest that I've had. I don't think, obviously it hasn't been finalized, and I had to submit by January 31st what we had used rural aid for in the previous year, and I relied on Dr. Regalito to help me write that report. So I can cite some of that as part of this.
Okay, so My only recommendation would be, and I'm sure somebody more creative, or Nancy more that we could at least get a piece that could go out to the press.
Sure.
And I think it would be really good if we could got the leadership team here to talk about what that would mean throughout the buildings.
You know, when we have Talia,
and then
we have
put it in the newsletter.
Yeah.
When we do the next newsletter.
Well, I'm getting to that in a second. We have Talia. Talia from the Berkshire Eagle is here, and that may be something that Talia, you might want to do some research into, and then we can talk to you about. You know, we can.
Nancy, I need you to speak up just a little bit more. I can see Talia.
All right, so I think we already have Talia, and she just gave me a thumbs up. We already have Talia from the Berkshire Eagle, and I think that for Talia to do some research and then talk to Dr. Ricca and any of us who have been involved. Julie, you've done the research. I know Sarah Tatro has been really helpful in trying to help me get letters out to our representatives. So yeah, there's been a pretty good amount of work on it, like Bonnie has said, and I think it'd be great. I think it's a great idea. And I think it would be nice to have some students involved.
Right.
You know, that might be something that would be an honor society project or something like that. And yes, we're going to talk about it in the community relations next newsletter.
Barrett, who represents up north, has been I didn't realize he used to be a teacher before he was mayor and everything else, but he has been gung-ho on how the Berkshires has been short-changed when it comes to getting money. So you might pick up some other things in there. So I think, you know, we should determine who's doing what we could do, because it's next week.
Okay. I mean, I'm happy to work with Nancy on a piece. Obviously, I have a pretty big deadline for Monday, but beyond Monday, I'm happy to contribute and help write something and be articulate about what the impact of rural aid that I've seen in my short time here is. So yeah.
And Talia, not putting you on the spot, but if you are doing an article.
Sure we are.
Right. That we can definitely have contributions there. But for us, I think the push really has to be increasing awareness of that being an issue for us.
I agree. I agree. I think it will make a huge difference on so many levels.
That's great. So are there other
you're going to have to knock Julie upside the head. Amy's had her hand up.
I would just add, not to a separate thing, but whatever that article or piece of information looks like, could it also go out on the Facebook feed for the school?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can coordinate with Chris. Yeah.
With that whole awareness thing, whatever we come up with goes
everywhere.
Out.
In multiple places.
Yeah.
You got
exactly.
it. Can do. That we can do.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Is there any other details we need to work on right now about this?
Anything else that people think?
I don't know, Nancy or
Just
Bonnie?
make sure Talia can get in touch with us, all of us, through Dr. Ricca, that's all.
I can't, what did you say?
Make sure that Talia
Just
can get
make
in touch with all of you.
Oh, yes.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, without question.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So we could take more of a leadership in the future.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cover that. Great. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All righty.
I'll be happy to work on that.
I'll be, yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, subcommittee reports. Finance subcommittee will get itself kind of reorganized next week, and we know there are deadlines. There's, we don't need to talk any more about that. Community relations, Nancy?
Alrighty, so Brian, you're gonna love this one. So we do a budget newsletter that goes out usually the last week of April.
Okay.
And that is basically where we publicize basically a general description of the budget. You'll be able to see it, you guys will be able to see it in prior newsletters. But this is really important because it goes to everybody theoretically, if the mailings work, which they don't always, but goes to everybody in the town. It goes to all the post office mailboxes. It goes out to all the people in the rural route and stuff like that. That explains what the details are of the budget, where there are changes that would be of concern for the towns, where there are positive things. It's basically so that people can go into the town meetings and either have questions to ask, which hopefully in New Marlboro, Miguel will be able to answer more better than I do, but basically have questions to ask or comments to make, and it has helped make the budgets pass on a regular basis.
Okay.
So it's really made a difference. So that's one thing. And anyway, we need to meet. So basically, if we can meet. Well, gosh, we've got the whole budget right now, but if we can meet before the end of March, just delegate out, because what we'll do also, so anybody, I've got the basic committee, whoever you are now, I'm sorry, it's all gotten so confused. But then I'd also I always get input from Sandy and from Sarah. We also do a alumni piece, alumni spotlight, and if anybody has some suggestions for that would be great. So that's it for that.
Great, thank you, Nancy.
We just have to set a date, but I'll send that out. I can send that out.
Oh, very good. Okay, and then policy.
Arthur's resignation creates a similar problem that the Finance Subcommittee has. We now have Julie and me
and Miguel.
So
we do have 3.
Oh, we have 3. That's
we
good.
do have 3,
okay.
so we're okay for
We're okay. Good.
Immediate.
Excellent. We're okay.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff that's been going on, I neglected to send out the dates suggested by Liz to meet with us. We could use another member, but we don't need one. It's not pressing.
It becomes a quorum if you do.
What? Pardon me?
It becomes a quorum if you do.
The majority of the school committee. You have 3.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so for right now, until we get some replacements, we really need to keep our subcommittees to 3.
Okay, we're fine. I will by the weekend, I will send those dates and ask for a response about what works.
Okay. Very good. Personnel and negotiations, Bonnie.
We are setting up, Sarah sent me dates, to put in the rest of the missing information on 3 more meetings. And I've unearthed a lot, and I heard Beth unearth some material, so we can finally get this done. And then the minutes will go to personnel and negotiations for approval. One other point, it was brought up that there were issues from the MTA regarding the contract. I spoke with Josh, he said they were just cosmetic, and though initially he thought we would have to vote again, he said there is nothing substantive at all.
Good.
So I'm just waiting to hear back that MTA accepted what was done. MTA, the regional representative, Alex Lamagu, retired. So it's putting that together. But Josh is on top of it after I had I was in Brian's office and had a fit and a half.
Got it done. We got it done.
We got it done. So that's all for personnel and negotiations.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent evaluation, we'll have to reorganize that as Kim was the chair of that committee. I'm trying to think. I
It's
think it was
just you and me
Jim
now, right?
and you
So we
and
still
me
have
and
three.
Kim, right? There were four of us.
Right.
So if
So
the
we
three
still
of
have
us
three.
stay on
Right.
that,
Yeah.
we're okay. Bonnie, how do you feel about chairing that?
How do I feel about, Jim, how do you
Sharing
feel
it.
about chairing it?
Well, all right,
We
we'll
both-
talk about that later.
we're
We'll
both-
discuss
we're
that later.
both
We have
past
three,
chairs,
we're
so
okay.
Right.
It's yours.
Okay.
We're all past chairs. Right.
We'll figure that out.
That was a hot potato.
Yeah, that was good. Executive minutes. Carl, do you have anything about that?
Should be done when we have, after the budget has been approved.
Okay.
It's going to be quite easy, I think, and quick, one short evening meeting.
Who's on that with you, Carl?
Hold on, I got them right here.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe I don't have it here. I thought I did. It's not listed.
Oh, I thought it was listed.
Ad hoc
me
review,
too.
soup, ad hoc, liaison.
Executive
I'm going,
minutes.
I'm going. Finance, not listed. Executive minutes review is not listed on our subcommittees.
Oh, I thought it.
Finance,
But
ad hoc.
Michelle has it.
Michelle will help
knows
you.
it.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure I'm not looking in the right place. Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Wrong page.
It is Carl, Arthur, and Jim. So you do have two.
Executive.
I'm
I'm an executive.
Okay.
Is
We're
that
fine
all?
with that. We're
We'll talk
fine
about,
with that.
I didn't know
we'll
that,
figure that
yeah.
out
We
later.
call,
Okay.
just so everybody knows, we call that looking like a boy in my house.
Oh,
When you're looking for something that's right in front of you. Like, if your child goes to the refrigerator and says,
That's a
there's
boy.
no milk, and you go over and you show them where the milk is, that was just looking like a boy right here. I just want to admit.
at my
Yeah,
house,
girls-
it's called,
girls
did
always
you
know
look
where
on the
stuff
ceiling
is.
yet?
That's
my
a
house.
good one.
And Carl,
My
I'd be
husband
interested in being on the executive review, minutes review if you want a third person on there.
Okay, Nancy, I'll take that under advisement. Thank you so much. We'll figure
Okay.
that out. Okay? Okay. Ad hoc handbook review.
We are marching right along. We may need to discuss how many people we have on the committee now because 4 is a quorum.
Oh, right.
So just need to let you guys understand that we need to regroup possibly. But anyway, the handbook review is coming along. We will get a, I know this sounds silly, but the welcome letter, which we feel that's really important, how to make that clear, tell people what's, what's coming, and taking what Bonnie had written several years ago and put together, and then adding some bullet points and links to find out more information, and also to have visual, for people like me to have a visual, visual images for saying what the school committee does. So we're moving right along. It's going to come out pretty well, I think.
We might be okay with the 4 people because as chair, I could step back and do the ex officio thing.
Okay, sure,
'Cause
that'd be great. I don't want to do it without you, I
That way the other 3
admit.
would be the people who vote to make those decisions.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That will,
We're missing something from future agenda items, which was supposed to be now part of the agenda,
what's that?
Where's the,
which was the orientation session for people who are potentially interested
Oh,
in, because it covers all 5.
Bonnie, I'll work with you. We will just put that on the agenda. Because it was on the future, it was on like before. You're right,
Right.
it kind of fell off.
But we need to pick, approve it as a school committee, pick a date.
Well, we approved the concept.
Right, we approved the concept, but we never,
Well, we didn't schedule a date.
Right.
I'll talk to you and we'll
Okay,
make
we'll
sure
do
we
it.
take
Okay,
care of that
great.
next week.
Excellent.
That's okay.
May I ask, not wanting really to prolong the meeting, however, knowing that I signed some warrants this afternoon that are sitting in a basket on Ms. Castellano's desk, might the chair consider amending the agenda to add 2 warrant representatives from the school committee to be able to sign warrants now that Ms. Alcantara has stepped down?
Oh, I would entertain a motion that we amend our agenda yet again this
Second.
evening.
So.
Yeah, that's critical.
To add warrant committee. Is there
So
any other
moved.
discussion?
Yeah. There has always been, as long as I've been a member of the committee, well, almost as long as I've been a member of the committee, Dennis Sears and I were the warrant subcommittee, but we had a rule, and I don't know if it's reflected in policy, but we did have...
Could you shut the flashlight off on
Your
your phone?
flashlight's on.
Really? Does someone know how to do
It's
that?
blinding me too, Barry.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that.
I always, if
Here I
have
thought
a
it was
pro-
your
If I have a
inner
problem with
glow.
any electronic thing, I walk the streets of Great Barrington looking for a 9-year-old.
Miguel, I see you in just a moment.
But anybody, any member of the school committee can sign warrant. That's been the long-standing rule. So we don't need to have, we should have a committee, and we do. But anybody, if there's a problem, that someone can call Jim or Amy or yes. Oh, what do you mean yes? I don't recognize you. What am I doing?
Here's the thing is,
Went to my head earlier today.
Julie and I had a discussion about this when she wasn't chair, and I personally have never been comfortable with one person.
Right, that's why I said two.
Because
Yeah.
you and Dennis trained me. I was the third person on the warrant committee, and I really hope that we can go back to a 3-member team.
Dennis trained you,
And
I
it
didn't.
sounds like it's important because now we have paperwork
have
sitting in a
warrants?
box that needs to be signed, so I guess that's one that we want to do it. Miguel?
Yeah, I want to say I probably have to leave a little early, and now I just want to make sure, are we going back into executive session?
Not tonight.
No, not
Not
tonight.
tonight.
Not tonight. Is it all right if I duck out earlier? I know I've got
Yeah.
a lot of meetings next week, so I'll be.
Yes,
see
yes,
you
and
soon.
we're kind of near the end. I didn't
Right.
know if you were going to tell me you were dying to be on a warrant committee.
Right, that's what I thought.
No.
Oh, okay.
That one, but I just ducked out a little early tonight. I just want to make sure there's no other super important stuff
Okay.
going on before. I leave.
So let me understand, if we establish a warrant committee, and if, we appoint, I'm assuming we are bound by the 3 because of our 7-ness right now. But how many are required in a committee model to approve? Do you need 2 of the 3, like if somebody's away?
One.
If someone's away,
Do you
you
really- do you-
actually only need
One.
one, but I
it's-
hate, because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
place for 3 of us to sign.
Well, no, I mean, and we had that example from Open Architect, right? And there were places for multiple
Nancy has a
people
question.
to sign. So
As
that's
long
why
as
I'm
we have
asking.
2, and we like to have at least one who lives nearby.
Well, I live nearby, and I got a funny
Right.
feeling I'm going to be here a bit.
Once
So
or twice.
I'm happy to do that, but it would be nice to have others. Nancy, I see your hand.
Yeah, I think that's really important because one of the issues that came up had to do with the invoices or the lack of information on on some invoices that were signed off on. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll leave it at that just because
Okay.
that's.
So if
that'd
we
be
have
great.
3 people, I'm volunteering to be 1. Are there 2 other volunteers that would consider doing that?
I'd consider doing it.
I mean, is this a weekly, I should say, is this a weekly?
It's every 2 weeks.
Right.
So it's every other
Every 2
week?
weeks.
We have a
Yeah.
warrant,
Yeah.
we need to sign.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure if it was weekly or bi-weekly.
And we were
or-
doing it on Friday mornings, so we could get, because then you could look at it, and then if you need to look at backup,
backup.
you have people in the office who
Right.
can provide it for you.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So, Amy?
Yeah, I'm happy to help. I'm just, I'm thinking about who's on all these committees, and I'm feeling like maybe I'm not on enough. But I would also ask if I could get some training from somebody.
Well, I would say we're probably all going to need some lessons, I've signed town warrants, but I've never signed a school warrant. And exactly how what the process is, but I think probably between Michelle, Brian, and the business office,
We'll be able to help
we
you, show you what
can
you've got.
figure out how to get
Yep.
started to do that. Okay.
Yeah, I just have a comment for Amy. It's really quite pro forma. It's all laid out. It is not,
Yeah.
it doesn't require a ton of thought. In fact, quite the opposite.
Well, but even if you see numbers that jump out, I would say you could easily ask a question. And chances are, the answer is pretty reasonable.
Agreed.
That's been my experience. Yeah.
I am thrilled with this, that there's going to be more than one person doing the warrant. I think
So I
that is-
have two. Is there a third person?
I would have, but there shouldn't be the three of us from Sheffield.
Oh, from Sheffield.
Nancy offered.
I can be part of it.
You think you can do that, Nancy? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then we have three.
Excellent.
Okay, representing two towns. Okay, great. All right, so future agenda items, we will talk about that info session next time. We have these other items here. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add for a future agenda item?
I think that looking at the open meeting law and ethics workshop, I think that, or I know that there was, that we definitely need to do that, but I think also Liz recommended that we also do a finance training so that we don't run into the situation that we've run into now. How basically how finances work, how budgeting works and all that. And I think that would be a really useful workshop. And she has sent, I'll get back in touch with her, last time that she was available with, God, the name is gone, Novik.
Tracy.
Was March 18th, which that's not possible. I'm sorry, there's no way we can do it. But if we can do that later in the year before, sometime before we go into budget negotiations and budget information in the fall.
That's
I think would be really important.
Great.
And I think that'd be really helpful for everybody.
I can add that we got an email from MASC a couple weeks, last week, the week before, about a finance webinar. So that's tomorrow at noon.
That's tomorrow at noon.
So I'll hear most of that, but anyway. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
I was just gonna say.
What?
Subcommittee, like addressing the subcommittees that need, like the finance. It seems like it's only the finance actually at this point, right? As we went through it.
But we appointed,
Miguel. Oh, we did, and that was it, right?
We appointed Miguel.
And everything else.
And I'll do a deeper dive and review it.
Right, with the alternate.
I'm the alternate.
Yeah, and Bonnie's the alternate. Right.
Now, Carl, let me ask you a question. I drafted something so we could get a letter right out to Tara. Is it appropriate to get approval of the school committee?
It wouldn't be inappropriate. It's not a bad idea.
Okay, here's the draft. It's real short.
Here's your letter, Tara.
Dear Tara, on March 5th, 2026, the school committee in executive session accepted the resignation of both our chair, Art Pataki, and our vice chair, Kimberly Alcantara, who resigned not only from their positions, but from the school committee as well. In open session, the acting chair, Carl Stewart, announced the outcome of the executive session and led the school committee in selection of a new chair, Julie Hannum, and a new vice chair, Amy Bainbridge Jordan. Thank you for sharing your views with the school committee. Though the sense of the school committee was not unanimous, everyone managed to be respectful of each other and civil and took the time to consider your concerns. Hopefully, moving ahead, we will work together to continue encouraging the successes of SBRSD, signed by the chair, Julie Hannum.
Motion to amend the agenda to approve this letter to Tara White.
Second.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to amend the agenda.
So moved.
Yeah. Jim?
Yes.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Julie, yes. Nancy?
Yes.
And Miguel has stepped away.
So-
Motion, you want to make a motion to approve the letter? that you
Yes. Motion to approve the letter
wrote As read.
as read.
Second.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve the complaint letter, response letter as stated. Any other discussion? All in favor? Jim?
Aye.
Bonnie?
Yes, I.
Carl?
Yes.
Amy?
Yes.
Nancy?
Yes.
Julie, yes.
Now, Mr.
Is
Stewart.
there any other business? I think we're
No,
ready for
would
you, Carl.
Julie, do
No
you
more
want me to
amendments?
give this
Thank
to
you
Michelle?
guys for,
Hold on,
for
let's finish this up.
Thank you, what was that?
Oh,
Thank you for taking this seriously and taking it into consideration. I appreciate that. And drive safely going home, everybody.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you, Tara. Okay,
Thank you,
motion
Tara.
to adjourn. Yes?
Second.
Seconded by?
Yes.
By everybody. Seconded by Nancy. All in favor?
Aye.
That is an aye for all.
All right.
All right,
thank
nice
you.
work, you guys,
Do you want me to give
and
this
thank
to
you.
you?
Recording
stopped.